Most sites are reporting not much change from the helpful content update. Should we expect a bigger change soon?
No.
No. Okay.
So, and I think everybody has read a great amount about it. It's pretty much all over the board right now. So I'll kind of describe it. One, the helpful content update, and I just actually released a video on it the other day, so you might want to get my opinion from the video. But the content update has not been a disaster as people predicted. And in fact, everybody was anticipating, based on the volume from Google and the number of people talking about it being a very, very broad impact to everybody kind of a thing, the general consensus was that it was going to be significant. And while significant is good, it isn't clear to anybody that it has been significant. I am not at all sure it's significant. So I'm sitting here thinking maybe we're going to see more, maybe we're not. Where I think the hard part about the content update is the word helpful. And it's difficult for SEOs to wrap their head around it because most of the prior updates were different. For instance, when Google did an update, we would typically analyze what changed, and we'd find a magic button or a lever or some tangible thing to change that is going to allow us to recover or to allow us to move ahead. In this particular case, there doesn't seem to be a magic lever or a button or anything in particular to change. The question is, are you helpful? And that's a really tough thing for an SEO to wrap their head around, because helpful is subjective. For instance, did I build a page and put it on my site? Yes. Is the content expert? Subjective. Let's assume it's expert. I put it on my site. Did I modify contextually in the middle of paragraphs some of my related content to link to this content or not? If I won't even link to it, it can't be helpful. I mean, if I don't think it's helpful enough to link to it, if I don't want to brag about my own excellent content, it's not helpful. If nobody shares it, it's not helpful. If nobody links to it, it's not helpful. If it never shows up in a Google search result, it's not helpful. And helpful at all these levels is different from push a button, add some keywords, add or detract from the content length, yada, yada, yada. Those are things, those are activities, those are signals. But helpful is truly, what does the world think of your content? If nobody likes it, it isn't helpful. And so you really have to change your perception of this update. Now, so what do? Well, I no longer have orphan pages on my site. The content that I think is excellent, I'm going to link to it myself. And I think that I'm going to talk about it on social media and get some mentions. And I'm going to make sure that it is not keyword stuffed and doesn't appear out at the lunatic fringe of SEO. I'm going to make sure, yeah, that's a good one, lunatic fringe of SEO. I'm going to make sure that what I have written is useful to the community, that somebody is going to ask a question that I am able to answer. And by the way, useful information does not mean I have the same information as 500 other sites. How do I express information that is useful to people in my unique way? Anyhow, to answer your question, no, there wasn't a big shakeup, certainly not yet. I expect there will be. Where I have seen on my site the change is that my long tail keywords have actually, the longer they are, the better they're performing. The keywords I had on the first page are more secure. When I say that, I used to be in position 4, I'm now in position 1 or 2. So my first page keywords got more cemented. My longer term keywords started ranking in the top 30. I only look at the top 30. If I'm not in the top 30, I don't exist. Quite frankly, my saying is that page 2 of Google results is a great place to hide a dead body. It used to be Lake Mead, but that doesn't work anymore. So page 2 of Google is a great place to hide a dead body. I also say the only time you ever go to page 3 of Google search results is when you're looking for your own website. Page 4 might as well not exist. So in the top 30, my page 2 and page 3 results, I have more on each of those pages. But my page 1 hasn't changed at all. So I don't think there's been a big impact to most people. I think there will be as Google gets better and better and keeps turning up the volume on this. You're going to probably want to watch my video. I'd encourage you to do that. This is a very, very useful opportunity for people, of course, to understand, hey, if you're not maintaining your content, if you have 1,000 blog posts that you haven't touched in 3 years, there's a high probability it's not helpful.
Right. Yeah.
You just maintain your website, link to your own excellent content, make sure your content's excellent, make sure appropriate people know about it, link to it yourself. Those are the important things.
If you want to ask Bruce Clay your SEO question, head on over to seotraining.com/pages/webinar and register to join our next live webinar with the Father of SEO himself. It's completely free and allows you to get the SEO insights you need for your website. So sign up today so you don't miss out.